All right, Shalom. Want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to you. How about Shema with Shabbat, Shemar Kakwadash, Dub on the Apostle, others, a great millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there, pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, this article says multiple global pestilences threaten to spiral completely out of control. We always talk about the pestilence, Now we're seeing a lot of wars take place. We're seeing food prices go up. They had the situation in a video in Alaska, which is in the United States, by the way. Or it's part of the United States. They got their food prices particular, or their essential goods prices through the roof. And we already know that's when the brother posted, I was like, that's pretty much in the backyard of America, which it is part of America. But it's still a little bit of time before it hit home. Could be in the next couple weeks, next couple months. But nonetheless, it's gonna come. So let's see. I actually just clicked this, so I'm gonna read a little bit into it, because the scriptures speak heavily of a pestilence outbreak. But it says multiple global pestilences threaten to spiral completely out of control. It says, do you remember the nightmares that we experienced in 2020 and 2021? Nobody wants to go through anything like that again. But right now, multiple pestilences are raging all over the planet, and one or more of them could potentially spiral completely out of control. For a long time, I have been warning my readers that we have entered an era of great pestilences. Humanity's ability to manipulate diseases greatly exceeds human ability to control diseases. Yep, that's true. And as you read this article, scientists all over the world are monkeying around with some of the most dangerous bugs that humanity has ever known. That is a recipe for disaster, and it's only a matter of time before we experience a crisis far worse than anything that we went through in 2020 and 2021. It says, in recent months, I have been keeping a very close eye on the bird flu. Yeah, which that was going on in the news. It has already killed hundreds of millions of birds around the globe, and now it's affecting mammals on a widespread basis. One expert that has been monitoring the bird flu for a decade says that what we are witnessing right now is extremely worrying. McKintrey describes the spiraling infections in animals as being unprecedented and says that urgent surveillance is needed to monitor whether H5N1 begins spreading between pigs or ferrets, animals which have similar receptor profiles to humans. I have been following H5N1 since 1997. The current situation is extremely worrying. McIntyre says in the past, H5N1 epidemics in birds were sporadic and would die down after culling infection poultry. So, that goes into the bird flu. Let's see what else they got. More confirmations of bird flu. I'm pretty sure swine flu is going up. Let's see what else they got. Okay, mpox. It says, do they know something that we do not? We need to keep a very close eye on this, because H5N1 can have the death rate over 50% of humans. Meanwhile, mpox is back with a vengeance. In one area of Africa, the number of confirmed cases has tripled compared to the same period of time last year. In DCR alone, more than 4,500 cases of mpox and almost 300 deaths have been reported this year. That is triple the number reported at this time last year. Yeah, and I'll say this, shout out to this actual website, The End of the American Dream, because I actually was doing a lot of coverage on pestilences years ago before the famine outbreak. And one of them was widespread sicknesses going on in China. I remember doing that years before the actual pestilence outbreak took place. So, these are like Bible Belt pages where they'll follow the scriptures, believe in the scriptures, and then they'll, see the evidence in the world to validate, So, a lot of this stuff do be on point. But continuing on, it says I just want to jump around. This is truly horrifying disease. Some of the people that have caught it have said that it was the worst pain that they have ever experienced in their entire lives. At this point, the primary method of transmission appears to be the same as it was during the initial outbreak in the summer of 2022. The virus spreads through the social networks of men who have sex with men during the summer of 2022, and it still appears to mainly be spreading through this demographic. Of very great concern is how rapidly dengue fever has been spreading in South America. It is reported that they have already been over 3.5 million cases in Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina since so far in 2024. And a lot of this stuff is not even being spoken of in the news. You know, they don't want to keep these, you know, that constant scare going. You know, and they try to get on us for you know, you have that term doom scrolling, saying you're always looking for pessimistic information. Well, a prophet, you know, like how they coined us prophets of doom. We supposed to, Jeremiah 28:8. You know, prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against both countries and kingdoms of war, pestilence, and evil. So we got to speak about the pestilence. We have to speak about the famine. We have to speak about evil, which means bad times. And we scroll through these news articles to get the juicy stuff, man. You know, quote unquote, oh, that's doom scrolling, but it's truth. You know, scriptures speak about, you know, how what's written in the Bible is mournings, lamentations, and woes. So we got to talk about the woes, you know. And that, like I said, that's a few. And they brought out a really good point on how, you know, you got these scientists, which they just put a pig heart or a kidney in a human. So they're doing a lot of lab experiments. They're doing a lot of testing on people. That, like I said, like the dude was speaking about, these scientists creating diseases quicker than they're preventing them, which is a disaster of destruction. You know, and it's true. See, Esau is the harbinger of death. You know, scripture speak about how death and hell follow him. He'll create anarchy, and he don't even have the remedy to stop it. How smart is this guy? You know, he creates bad times, but he doesn't even have the solution to mitigate it. You know, and even if he does mitigate it, it can never be cured, because he just doesn't have that wisdom. He doesn't have the wisdom of the right. He has the wisdom of the left. So he pushes the left, whether it's sicknesses or AI and things of that nature, to his full advantage, to crack down and institute his system. Pressure from above, pressure from below. All right. You had a Hegelian dialectics, you know, Erdoab, KO. Those things are real, man. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You see? So he's going around just effing with shit, man. You know, going into these different nations. You know, and I remember prior, which I know brothers do too, prior to the sickness outbreak, the 19, you had, I think it was the UN, they was in China, and they was on a round table, and they had Shiva, which was the goddess of the queen of destruction, whatever you want to call her, you know, sitting dead in the middle before that sickness came out. Yeah, so these devils, they operate heavily on the left-hand side, you know, and if they have to push a sickness to forcefully inject people, because the next injection is going to be that, you know what, you know, then they're going to do so. All right. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, you know, which is outbreaks, whether it's in the food, which is mainly going to be the food supply, going to be foodborne, could be airborne. You know, you have this one, I think it's like a sickness app, and you could create certain sicknesses. It's like a disease app or pestilence outbreak, I'll say. And you could put it in whatever country you want. And I think the best country to start off usually is in Africa. That's why you see a lot of sicknesses starting in Africa and the Asiatic lands, underdeveloped countries. It's the perfect breeding ground. You know, the climate, all these things factor in when you create a sickness, depending, you know, whether it's foodborne or whatever, borne pathogens or whatever, you know. It says in earthquakes in diverse places. And it's actually a good game. You know, I played a few. I wasn't, you know, binging it. I just wanted to get a sample of it. But it was very interesting. I think somebody put me on it years ago. You know, maybe like 5-6 years ago. I might re-download it and, you know, maybe do a little talking on it, speaking on it or whatnot. Because, see, this devil has that technology, too, to just drop something in the heart of Africa, in the heart of Asia, in the heart of America. But the scripture says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, so when we see these things take place, it's still the beginning of the end, you know, meaning more hell is going to pursue. The scripture says it shall be like a woman in travail, you know, until we get up out of this thing. It's just going to be hell and treachery at a higher and higher level, you know. But the Spirit of the Lord is going to protect us, pursuing the Psalms, the 91st chapter. We don't have anything to worry about. You know, Psalm 34:7. You know, so I just want to speak on that. You know, hopefully brothers and few sisters was edified them, and by giving all praise, honor, and glory to you. How by Shemal Shah, by Shemar Kakwadash, the bonus apostle, that was a great millstone. Shalom Amakim.